everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Georgia Jaguar, stampingeorgia.com here, and I'm really excited to share with you a card that has a fun opening and fold. And these are two different ones that I've made, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But what's fun about it is oops, here I've got it upside down. It opens in a little different way than your traditional card, but in the end it's the same size and fits in your A2 or medium size envelopes. So I'm going to show you how to do the cutting and scoring, so let's go ahead and get started. So here are the two cards again, feminine and masculine. And again, this one I didn't show you the inside just because it's on Early Espresso. I've lined it with Whisper White so it's easier to write on the inside of your card. So one of the tools that you'll want is your Stampin' Trimmer, and I have found, I tried my big guillotine cutter. That doesn't do the trick with this. You need a trimmer like the Stampin' Trimmer that will go a little bit beyond 12 inches, because when you turn your paper diagonal, it's going to be more than 12 inches. So you start with a full size 8.5 by 11. And you're going to put it in your trimmer and first score it with the score blade at 5.5, so that's in half that direction. Then I turn it 90 degrees and I put it at 4.25 because that's in half that way. And so you can see I have it scored in a grid, and you can see where they intersect in the center there. And then next I'm going to lift up the guide on my trimmer. And I think I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Nope, that's in as much as I can. And your goal is to line up the points, the 2 points diagonally on your trimmer, both in the top groove of your little cutting mat, and also the center of the bottom. And if I turn it diagonal like this, you might be able to see the whole thing. So I've got it lined up here, and I've got it lined up down here. But before I cut, one of the things you want to do is get rid of your score blade, and at the bottom of your Stampin' Trimmer has a bigger opening so that you can slide your blades in and out easier. I'm just going to double check myself that I didn't wiggle there. And then the intersection, you should be able to see where those two score lines intersect. Should be right in the middle of your cutting track. And so by cutting that, I now have the pieces for bases for two cards. And we will then cut our designer paper. And you start out with two pieces, your two different prints, 4 by 5.25, which would go on the front of a card, with leaving you a nice 1/8 inch border all the way around. Again, I'm going to get my Stampin' Trimmer, and I'm going to turn my paper at a diagonal and put that in my trimmer. And it really doesn't matter which measurements you start. Again, the key is to get the 2 points in the center of your cutting track. And if you push kind of hard with your blade in your trimmer, you can cut 2 sheets of the designer paper. That wouldn't work with cardstock, but it works great with your designer paper. So now really all I have left to do is assembly. And I am going to, and you could make this fold up from the bottom or the side. I was going to grab my bone folder, but I forgot it. So we'll use my thumbnail, which was my original bone folder. And just kind of make sure your centers line up, so my diagonals line up there. And then I'm going to use snail. You can use your favorite adhesive. And just catch the edges on that designer paper. And you noticed I had my 2 prints that I'm using, and I had both of them facing up when I was cutting, because if you don't do that, what happens is they don't end up the right shape, and your corners won't be going the right direction to put it on your card. You need 2 opposites. So just take my word for it, because how do you suppose I figured that out? Of course, I made one incorrectly to begin with, or I cut incorrectly. So in this, putting these on will leave your little bit of white border all the way around. Then the last thing we'll do, and I've already pre-stamped, used a stamp out of the beautiful bouquet stamp set, because it gives you so many options, and that's the 2 1/4 inch circle punch that I cut that out with. I'm using the Night of Navy because that will coordinate, and I stamped in the lovely lipstick, which is one of the colors in the prints. And that's just going to go in the center, so I'm going to take a couple of dimensionals, put those on my card. Easier said than done sometimes. And then just center that. And there you have it. And now I have the pieces, because I cut them all at once. I can make one more card, and how fast and easy is that to do 2 at once? Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll give this fun diagonal cut and fold a try.